Petey and Hughes are killing it for your Vancouver Canucks. So why should that give you mixed emotions? Well, we're going to tell you why. And here's something else that should give you mixed emotions. It's Begsy and it's Bhawan, and you're listening to Locked On Canucks.
You're Locked On Canucks, your daily podcast on the Vancouver Canucks. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Thanks for hitting the play button on today's episode of Locked On Canucks. My name is Trevor Beggs, Canucks writer and part-time credentialed media member for Daily Hive Vancouver. And before we dive into the show today, we want to thank you for listening to Locked On Canucks, your team every day. We are free and available wherever you get podcasts and on YouTube, where the best way you can help us grow is to listen every day and subscribe. And even though I bailed on his party over the weekend, he still joined me on today's episode, and I appreciate him for it. Kyle Bhawan, how you doing, my man?
I'm doing good, man. I'm doing good. It's gray outside, which is it's not the best. It's not the best for me, okay? I'm ready for the sun, as you can tell, and it is what it is at the end of the day. For real. Feeling a little empty based on, what I've seen over the weekend with the Vancouver Canucks. I don't know how to feel. We got two of our best players doing great things. They're probably turning into better players. They are turning into better players, which means good things for the Vancouver Canucks. But again, I'm feeling a little empty. We also got to talk about RT Baines later too, because, Surrey. Shout out to Surrey, man. Whoever's watching from Surrey, let us know in the comments. Hey, speaking of which, we're going to save the best for last. We're going to go through those comments at the end of the show. Enough about me, though. Let's talk about the current state of the Vancouver Canucks. Begsy, man, you mentioned it. I just mentioned it. We feeling empty. What else you feeling when it comes to the performance this weekend from your Vancouver Canucks?
Yeah, definitely mixed emotions, my man. Mixed emotions, because I think empty is a great way to describe it, but also, excited and happy that Quinn Hughes and Elias Pettersson are Vancouver Canucks, because these two players are absolutely dynamic. I mean, in that game against the LA Kings, most of the team was bad, to use a word without swearing. They were bad. It was a bad performance by the team. And it wasn't until Pettersson scored that goal midway through the third period that the team awoke from their slumber. I mean, Thatcher Demko, Quinn Hughes, Elias Pettersson were both basically the only Canucks that were awake through that game early on. But, I mean, man, Pettersson and Hughes and JT Miller, he played well this weekend too. They all have 4 points each over 2 games this weekend. Those 3 players were the reason the Canucks won. But, again, I wanted to focus on Hughes and Pettersson because these two guys are 23 and 24 years old. They are in their prime right now, and we don't know how long their prime is going to last. Are they still going to be at this level by the time the Canucks become a contender? Because there's still a lot of work to be done.
Whoa, dude, why are you going there, man? You're dark, bro. You're dark. I had no idea you were going to say that, but that is a scary...
This weekend rocked me, man. This weekend rocked me. Quinn Hughes and Elias Pettersson are setting personal milestones. Pettersson, 33 goals, 88 points now on the season. 33 goals and was a career high. 88 points is a career high. Quinn Hughes, back-to-back 60-assist seasons. He is the first defenseman in almost 30 years to have back-to-back 60-assist seasons. So, these two players are pulling off some incredible accomplishments. And where's it gone to the Canucks? Nowhere. They're still one of the worst teams in the NHL. And now they're winning meaningless games, and we all expected them to do this. I mean, there's a lot of talent on this roster, and they're led by Quinn Hughes and Elias Pettersson. But it's fair to have mixed feelings about this team right now, man. And, I don't know. Kyle, make me feel better about the situation. I should be happier that these two guys are lining it up for the Canucks.
Yeah, it's one of those things, right? And especially with Pettersson, who scored 2 beautiful goals. 2 goals that Pettersson and only a few players in the NHL can score. For real. That's how good that guy is. And when he's scoring those goals, I'm having a hard time completely embracing it. Embracing the notoriety, embracing the unique ability of Elias Pettersson, because we're getting outshot by 30 shots. There's no reason to win this game. We don't need it. Let's secure the 7th overall pick, the 8th overall pick at least, all right? Let's not get to 10 or 11, but here's Pettersson just doing whatever I was about to swear there. Whatever this guy wants to do, he's doing it. He's helping us pick up points in meaningless games. And same with Quinn Hughes, man. Back-to-back 60-assist seasons playing on one of the worst teams in hockey, but for whatever reason, right, Trevor Beggs over here, this is why it's Team Kyle all the way. Trevor Beggs would rather have Miro Heiskanen. And who else? Who else would this guy? This guy would rather have Ivan Provorov than Quinn Hughes, dude. For real, dude. Okay, that was a boom, boom, boom. For real, man. So It's historic, right? You said it. We're seeing history happen with the Vancouver Canucks, but we're seeing history happen in a forgotten year, and that's sad. That is sad, and this just came to mind right now. They've already bought in for next season, right? They traded a first round pick. They got Hronek, who what? Like how can this team not, be at the front? Like, you know what? Rutherford, Alvin, talk about it. Talk about it, okay? You traded for a guy. Without knowing when the Islanders were going to make that selection. Now, I get it. The Islanders are playing better. That first round pick, probably not looking as appealing as it did a couple weeks ago. How can you trade for a guy who still hasn't even played for the team yet? How hurt is this guy? What's going on? There should be some communication there because that's kind of weird. Anyways, with that trade, they're bought in for next season, and it puts a lot of importance on next season. And I think I'm scared right here. This might be a scary thing to say, but there is a small chance that next season could be the last season with both these guys on the team because there could be some frustrations happening. Because you said it.
I thought I was feeling dark.
They're getting better.
Man.
They're getting better. They're competing, and they're making history in a season that nobody's going to remember. That could be frustrating.
Yeah, I think that last sentence might have summed it up perfectly, Kyle. They're making history in a season that no one's going to remember.
Yeah,
it's just a decade of darkness for the Vancouver Canucks, and Quinn Hughes and Elias Pettersson are two beacons of light in that darkness. But it's still dark, man. It's still dark. Being a Canucks fan, it's a dark thing to be a part of. It's a dark place to be, and you just got to hope that what these two guys are doing is going to spearhead this team to something great because it's.
We have to hope.
I will say here's one reason to be positive about the way things have transpired. You look at the beginning of the 21-22 season, and Quinn Hughes was playing good, but Pettersson was not playing well. And again, the team sucked last year, but again, it took Pettersson a while to get going. I think this season they were good from the jump. It was just that lack of structure and so many other things fell down around them. But now we know that these two can be two of the best players in the game. It's how do you build properly around those guys? And I know we're going to spend pretty much all offseason talking about it, but kind of the two top things on my list right now are, again, this is hoping that JT Miller keeps playing the way he does at center, but you need a really solid third line center. And you need a second pair left shot defenseman to play alongside Hronek. A solid guy in that role. Like someone honestly, Vladislav Gavrikov. I know he was kind of like this, who the F is this guy during the NHL trade deadline, but he was really good against the Canucks on Saturday night. So those are two of the things that, again, when I look at holes in the Canucks, how is this team going to get better? They need really good third line center and a really good second pairing left shot defenseman. And maybe then they'll have a complete enough team around Hughes and Pettersson to make somewhat of a run next year.
And they need Demko to beat Demko from the start. That's a huge thing. Because, again, Demko wasn't just bad at the beginning of the season. He was the worst goalie in the league.
Yeah. Oh, there's a good stat out here from Money Puck in terms of, basically the worst goalies in the league in terms of negative in the expected goals against. And Thatcher Demko is still 12th worst this season. Spencer Martin is actually the second worst goalie in the league in terms of negative goals saved above average. Only Kaapo Kähkönen and the San Jose Sharks is worse.
So let's get the commenters in on this. How do you guys feel about what you're seeing from arguably two of the greatest Canucks of all time? The history's not that deep on this team, right? There's not that many legendary prolific stats coming out of this side of town, and we've seen it early in the career of these two individuals, especially in Quinn Hughes. These guys are arguably top 10 in their position in the league this season, and I think it's going to continue on to next season and the season after that. Can you enjoy this? Can you embrace this? Are you going to remember this? Because it is historic. It is historic. And I think a lot of us are jaded and we can't see it, but there's that small fraction of the fan base that is seeing the fundamentals, the structure. They're seeing Tocchet, and they're already excited about September and October and November of next season. And maybe those people are the people who actually can appreciate what Quinn Hughes and Pettersson are doing. But damn, oh damn, I'm going to say it again. The Canucks don't make the playoffs next season. If the Canucks don't have a good start next season will be the last season with those two on the team.
That's dark, man. That's real dark. I'm going to end this segment on something a little bit more positive. And that's a couple of milestones that I'm looking for Petey and Hughes to hit before the end of the season. So if Hughes gets 8 more assists over the final, 13 games of the season, there was 12 or 13. I don't have it in front of me. If he gets 8 assists over that time span, he'll surpass JT Miller from 2021-22. And it'll put him 4th all time in terms of assists in a single season by a Canucks player. So the only player with more in a single season was Henrik Sedin.
Nice.
So that's one thing I'm looking for Quinn Hughes. And for Elias Pettersson, he's at 33 goals right now. It'd be pretty cool for PD to get 40 goals. 40 goals from number 40. 7 games left, so tall task, but we'll see. It's kind of a race between him and Kuzmenko at this point. I think Kuzmenko's got 34 in the season, so if one of those guys hit 40, it'd be pretty cool for your Vancouver Canucks.
Well, can I ask before we go to break, something else to put in the comments? Name me 5 better players than Pettersson right now in the league. I don't think you can. If you're watching the film, this guy's doing some lethal things. He's playing on the Canucks too and doing all these things. He's what he's doing right now is somewhat mission impossible, but it's not impossible for the alien EP40. Anyways, let's get to
and I think that's a bit subjective too. I bet
obviously
there would be fans. Maybe
West
not
Coast
our
bias,
listeners,
baby. West Coast bias.
Yeah, that's West Coast bias. Exactly.
I don't care. Somebody's got to do it. Yeah. West Coast bias.
I do want to do a dive at some point on the show, Kyle, like kind of going into where Pettersson ranks among Hart Trophy candidates, and I'm actually going to do a bit of a dive on Quinn Hughes in the Norris conversation coming up this week for Daily Hive, so maybe we'll chat about that as well. But in our next segment, we kind of talk about Archie Baines, the pride of Surrey, and I guess this is the debut of the Abbotsford report. Looking at the Abbotsford Canucks, who had a pretty dang good weekend. But before we touch on that, Kyle, I need to tell you about a product that I started using every day.
Every day.
Okay. Right now I'm in study mode. Okay. Like all my free time when I'm not working, when I'm not podcasting, when I'm not playing with my daughter, I'm studying. And you know what helps me focus and feel good?
What?
It's by taking Athletic Greens. So what is this stuff, Kyle? Well, let me tell you. With one delicious scoop of AG1, you're absorbing 75 high-quality vitamins, minerals, whole source superfoods, probiotics, and adaptogens to help you start your day right.
Wow.
This special blend of ingredients supports your gut health, your nervous system, your immune system, your energy, recovery, focus, and aging.
Oh, Trevor, on that note, you said aging, right? I think we got to continue drinking this stuff every day because I've been looking at the film and it kind of hit me, bro. You and I are getting older. I feel as if, we're still young and, we're still relatively looking young. But, bro, I've seen you many times in my life. I'm sure you've seen me many times in your life. You really pay attention to the pixels. It's like, holy shit, dude. 30? I think we're getting, I'm not saying we're getting wrinkles, but we're looking older. It's happening.
Yeah, and you know what? Now that I started using this, I'm using a new camera today. We'll see if I keep it up or not. But I think it's a little bit more clear, and I'm worried that more of my wrinkles are starting to show. So
you're old, bro.
If I want to keep those wrinkles away and stop that aging process, I got to keep having my Athletic Greens, man. And I got to say, Kyle, as a dad, I need my sleep as well. Sleep is part of looking young, and Athletic Greens does support better sleep quality, recovery, mental clarity, and alertness. When you use G1, you're investing in an all-in-one nutritional insurance. And Athletic Greens has over 7,000 five-star reviews.
Holy.
So right now it's time to reclaim your health and arm your immune system with convenient daily nutrition. It's just one scoop in a cup of water every day. That's it. No need for a million different pills and supplements to look out for your health. To make it easy, Athletic Greens is going to give you a free 1-year supply of immune-supporting vitamin D and 5 free travel packs with your first purchase. All you have to do is visit athleticgreens.com/NHL Network. Again, that is athleticgreens.com/NHL Network to take ownership over your health and pick up the ultimate daily nutritional insurance.
Who needs health insurance when you have Athletic Greens? And dude, I'm not trying to age. I'm trying to keep it up. Let's keep drinking this thing. Shout out to Athletic Greens. And take care of yourself, yo. Health is wealth. Health is wealth. Health is wealth. And another thing that is wealthy is the city of Surrey, okay? The future lives here. I don't think that's the lingo anymore when it comes to Surrey. They used to have it on the sign, but for me, it'll always be there. There's the most talented people in the lower mainland are coming out of Surrey, British Columbia. I don't give a F what people say. Surrey's the future. Archie Baines, the future, the man, and I would not be surprised if this dude sees some action in the NHL this season. For real, we're talking about a franchise that loves moral victories, that loves the stories, that, that wants to, pat the fan base on the back, and they're going to do what Archie Baines, like, look at this local kid, overager signed from Surrey. Let's get him in the lineup and make people happy before the season's over. It's going to happen. Archie Baines is going to make his debut for the Vancouver Canucks this season, playing some of his best hockey, seen the highlights, and let's do it, man. Shout out to Surrey, man. Who's from Surrey? Let us know in the comments. What's up?
Yeah, this is Locked On Canucks. This is Surrey's Canucks show, by the way.
Of
It's
course.
unofficial, but Kyle and I are both Surrey boys.
Of
So
course, man. Shout out to Surrey,
usually
man.
you usually don't say that loud and proud, but we're trying to change that. Okay,
Of
we're
course
trying to
we
bring
are, man. I'm saying it
bring
loud
some
and
pride
proud.
to the
I'm
city
from
of Surrey.
Surrey. I'm from Surrey. I'm from Surrey. I love
Well,
Surrey.
yeah, we're obviously not doing as good of a job as Archie Baines, who
Oh, yeah.
honestly had a really good weekend. Like I watched some of those Abbotsford Canucks games they had. They played the Ontario Reign twice in Abbotsford, and Archie Baines looks sick, to be honest.
Mm-hmm.
So one thing that I think everyone talks about how his hockey IQ stands out.
Bum.
I mean, this guy knows how to thread the needle.
Bum.
He did it a couple times over the weekend, but
Dude.
he's really good at finding that centering pass, that cross team pass,
Mm-hmm.
and finding the open guy who's got a chance at a high danger scoring chance. So he set up Linus Carlson, for his 20th goal of the season on Saturday night against the Ontario Reign. That was a 5-2 win. So Linus Carlson, another guy who,
Hey, let's not talk about
20
Linus
goals.
Carlson right now, okay? Keep it on Archie Baines, okay? Sorry, man. Let's go. Come on, what are we doing
Again,
here?
it was that pass from Archie Baines to Linus
Yeah.
Carlson. Linus Carlson, 20 goals in this season, which leads the Abbotsford Canucks. Our Archie Baines with 24 assists is tied for third on the Abbotsford Canucks. So on the season, he's got 9 goals, 24 assists, 33 points in 57 games. But
Good for
again,
him.
he scored an unreal goal in the weekend too, Kyle. I don't know if you saw
I
it,
did
but
see it.
you did or did not?
Come on, bro. It's the Surrey's Canucks show. You don't think I saw that goal? Come on, bro.
Okay, all right.
Shout out to
Just making
Faber.
sure. But
Shout out
yeah.
to Faber, keeping us locked in. For real, for real.
Yeah, he broke in for a shorthanded chance, deked out the defender, and just sniped it from about the top of the hash mark. So it was a great goal by Archie Baines. And even in the game against Ontario on Friday, where the Abbotsford Canucks won 4-0, I believe he didn't get the score sheet, but he had a couple other opportunities where he made that cross seam pass and set up a guy who just couldn't bury it. So
Mm-hmm.
yeah, he really stood out to me for the Abbotsford Canucks this weekend. I'm gonna be the negative guy and say I don't think he makes his debut this season. I just think again the Abbotsford Canucks are third right now in the AHL standings. I mean, there's a few guys right now who it'd be interesting to see in the NHL. I think Linus Carlson, Niels
Oh my
Höglander, get him
God,
back up.
man.
Archie Baines, all of those.
Third
I
on the
think all
list,
three of those
Trevor. Third
guys-
on the list. You're a proud Surrey boy. You're gonna put Archie Baines third on the list. Linus
Yeah,
Carlson,
you
Niels
can be as
Höglander.
biased as you want,
Come
buddy.
on,
You
man.
can be as biased
Are
as
you
you want. I'm
Swedish
just
or are
being
you
a
from
realist
Surrey?
here.
Are you Swedish or are you from Surrey? What?
I'm from Surrey.
Like,
I'm from Surrey.
come on,
Yeah.
man. Switch up the order, man. What are you doing, bro? What are you doing?
I'm just being honest for the people, man. I'm just not. You know what? I've already
You're not
pumped his
being
tires
loyal.
on the show just by bringing him up.
You're not being loyal. You're not being loyal. You're not being. Yeah, you're gonna bring him up, and I'm gonna bring him up to the top. Okay, get Archie Baines in the lineup this season. He deserves it. You brought up his hockey IQ. I think you mix that in with his work ethic. It's pretty obvious, right? This guy doesn't have a bone in his body that's close to giving up, for real. He's an overager who excelled in the WHL last season. He signed a deal to play with the Canucks, a hometown team. The pressure's on. The pressure's on, whether it comes from externally or internally, because again, you got friends, family, and just this dream of yours. Now you're living it. There's a chance for you to play for the Vancouver Canucks, and he stepped up to the plate. He's doing good things. Now, is he the best player in the AHL? Probably not. No, that's the answer, but he's doing things. And I think he's rounding out to become a better player overall, and that's going to bode well when it's his time to get a chance. And again, Trevor, we're talking about the Vancouver Canucks, the kings of moral victories. They're doing it. They're calling up Archie Baines because this season is a lost season, and they like to do these things, right? A little bit of smokescreen, right? Boom, boom, local kid. And he deserves it, man. Shout out to Surrey, bro. Shout out to Surrey, man. I don't know what Trevor's doing. Little fake Surrey boy. Yeah, he's doing great, but we should call up Linus Carlson and Niels Höglander up before. Come on, bro.
I'm just saying, all three of those guys, it'd be interesting to see them. I honestly don't know if any of them are. I think maybe Niels Höglander. I don't think we're going to see Linus Carlson or Archie Baines. We haven't even seen Aidan McDonough play yet. Aidan McDonough is still sitting on the Canucks NHL roster right now, by the way, Kyle. We haven't seen Aidan McDonough yet. He's going to make his debut at some point. That's another left winger, by the way. So, yeah, I want to see Archie Baines play in the NHL, but it's not happening this season. I will say, to your point about making him a more well-rounded player,
Mm-hmm.
the fact that he's killing penalties, I think is huge because he's going to play probably in that third, fourth line role for the Canucks. And another thing I'd like to see him do is shoot the puck a bit more. Like I'm looking at the Abbotsford Canucks players and their counting stats. Among the top scoring, the Abbotsford Canucks forwards with the most points this season, they all have over 100 shots. Archie Baines only has 49 shots in 57 games. So he's certainly a pass first guy, and that lines up with what you're seeing on the ice. But Man, shoot the puck a bit more. 9 goals on 49 shots. That's not a bad little shooting percentage right there.
Not a bad little shooting percentage. And again, shout out to Archie Baines, shout out to Surrey, shout out to 88th Avenue, shout out to 152nd Street, shout out to Guildford Mall, shout out to Surrey Central, all right? Shout out to CCA, for real. Shout out to Newton Wave Pool, 100% shout out to Newton Wave Pool, 100%. Shout out to King George Highway, shout out to Fleetwood McDonald's. I know they're not a sponsorship on the show. I'm a rep Surrey, okay? Not like Trevor. I'm a rep Surrey, and shout out to Archie Baines.
Yeah.
Shout out to Scott Road.
Yeah, this is Surrey's Canucks show, by the way.
Yeah.
Surrey's Canucks show. All right, in the final segment, I want to touch on the Cam Neely former Canuck of the week. I believe Kyle's got some comments as well in comment corner. But before we do that, Kyle, I got to tell you, I need to eat healthy right now. I need all the brain power I can get for studying, getting through school, so I can focus more on Locked On Canucks. And part of the reason I've been feeling a little bit better is because I've been eating Built Bar. So, Kyle, if you're like me, where you want to get healthier, but don't want to compromise taste by eating, gross, healthy food, then I got a solution for you. You got to try Built. With Built, healthy is actually tasty. Seriously, Built Bars are so delicious, you won't think that they're good for you. So what makes Built Bars so good? Well, for starters, they're covered in 100% real chocolate. That's right, real chocolate. And they come in unbelievable flavors like churro, peanut butter brownie, and coconut almond. I'm not sure how Built does it, but these bars taste like a candy bar while maintaining amazing macros.
What do you mean how they? Come on, you know how they do it. They got good people working there, all right? Come on, man.
Amazing people, some might say.
Honest people.
Yeah. And what's even better is that they're actually healthy. Only 130 calories and 4 grams of sugar with a whopping 17 grams of protein. You can order your favorite flavor of Built Bars today at Built.com.
Look at that. That's protein right there, baby. That's protein. You see that? That's protein right there, baby. Get Built Bar and be more like Bhawan, all right?
How much can you buy some crow? How much can you buy some crow with those, Kyle?
If I spend a whole week eating Built Bars, bro, by Saturday I'm curling 60.
Ooh, jeez.
And that's not the barbell. That's the dumbbells, 60 on each side. All right, big boy
the barbell
Bhawan.
Wouldn't be that impressive. If I can curl 60 on a barbell, I think pretty much anyone could do it.
Yeah.
But that's just me, man. That's just me. Okay, so I want to talk about the Cam Neely former Canuck of the week. I believe this is the second time we've done this. Jared McCann was our first winner, so this is the second time we've done this. And this week's Cam Neely former Canuck of the week, you might have guessed it. He scored against the Canucks last week, but it's Travis Boyd. Travis Boyd did play for the Canucks for a very forgettable part of the 2020-21 season. And he ended up going to Arizona, and now he's like he's a second line setter now that Barrett Hayden's playing on the first line. But Travis Boyd, he's averaging over 50 minutes a game this season. He's on a 4-game point streak right now. Last week, he scored the overtime winner against the Calgary Flames. Suck at Calgary. And he also scored 2 goals against the Vancouver Canucks for the second multi-goal game of his career. So Travis Boyd, not going to the postseason, but he is the Cam Neely former Canuck of the week.
Nothing gets more viewers than Travis Boyd.
No one gets more ladies than Travis Boyd. That guy must be killing it. Playing at ASU, kind of university girl. Go get it, Travis. There you go.
Oh, man. Just being an athlete, man. He probably eats Built Bars too, man. That's why he's doing it. And Athletic Greens. Let's be honest. Let's be real. But I'll say it again. Let's be honest and let's be real. You think Travis Boyd is important? No, he's not that important, okay? The people are important. The fans are important. Shout out to Surrey and shout out to the people commenting on the show. We got a couple comments here. What do we got here? We got one from Stefan Johansson, and this dude left a couple nice comments regarding our last episode. Super dope, dude. And he hopes that the Canucks do give Elias the C. He's not that guy that will scream and shout in the locker room. He's calm and collected, and that's maybe all he needs to be the captain. He's calm, collected, and, again, the best player on the team, the biggest hustler on the team. Elias Pettersson is going to be the next captain of your Vancouver Canucks. And shout out to Sweden for real. And then we got this guy, Too Lit to Quit. He said Ross is definitely cursed. I think he might have thought that Ross...
He meant the fan that you were talking about.
Exactly.
I know we threw in Ross Leviton from Locked On Sens, but he's talking about your buddy Kyle.
Exactly. And if people didn't listen to the last episode, I have a friend, a really close friend, that has gone to some of the worst moments in Canucks history, okay? He's gone to Game 7 against Minnesota. He's gone to the Steve Moore game, and he's gone to Game 7 against Boston in the Stanley Cup Finals. And then we had Too Lit to Quit offering his experience at going to Canuck games and big Canuck games, and he was in Calgary in 04, or no, I guess he watched a couple games from that series, and he was at the triple overtime game against Dallas
Yeah.
in 07.
Yeah.
So
I think he's
that's
talking about that when Calgary, Martin Jelena scored in overtime to beat the Canucks in
he
Game
was
7 at Rogers Arena.
he was at a dark
That must be the
moment.
game he's talking about. So he's too late to quit has seen some pain, but he's been there in the ring for some good times too. So yeah, both of those were definitely memorable moments. I think I've only been to one. I will admit I've only been to one playoff game at Rogers Arena,
Oh, tell him the
and we
story.
lost. But like just the atmosphere of
Yeah.
being in the arena pregame when the team comes out of the ice for the playoff game, like so the one playoff game I went to was also a loss. It was Game 1 in 2012 against the Los Angeles Kings. And I just remember, like, I had goosebumps. I'm waving the
Yeah,
towel. I'm
yeah,
like,
yeah,
this is our year, man. We're winning the cup this year. 2011's in the past, 2012
yeah.
off a President's Trophy win. And yeah, obviously didn't work out that way.
And,
But I remember before the puck dropped on Game 1, I definitely felt like we were going to be winning the Stanley Cup for sure.
and who was the one that got the people going that night?
Were you there?
I was there. It was me who got the people going. I was on the Jumbotron, dog. I was on the Jumbotron.
That was the night?
That was the night.
I thought it was like a Dallas regular season game.
No.
On
That
the
was Game
Jumbotron
1
for.
against LA. Willie Mitchell scored in that game too. That was the game. I got the people going.
My bad.
Shout out to my
All right.
homie Nelson. I went out with him, and we had tickets to the game. I was about to say shout out to my ex-girl for grabbing me those tickets, but F that. She ain't getting no shout out for real. I went to that game and I was on the Jumbotron twice. Again, not about me, about the Canucks fans, but I was trying to get the people going. I had the moves back then. The rhythm was something else back in the day. And maybe
I was proud of you, man. You really some people get up there for a few seconds, but that cameraman gave you a good 10, 15 seconds to dance, and you did get the crowd
and then he
going.
gave me the spotlight and to going into the third period. Remember, it's a playoff game, all right? Dude, I could have been big back in the day. It was a playoff game the year after 2011. Going into the third period, they just replayed me dancing on the screen to pump up the crowd.
Yeah.
All right?
That was a big moment for you. You might have peaked in that moment.
Yo, dude, honestly, for real, dude. I've said it many times. If the Canucks won the Stanley Cup back in the day, my life would be completely different. I'd still be hosting the show, the Locked On Canucks, because I care about the people. And that was just proof, man, back in the day that the future does come from Surrey. And Surrey has the most talent, man, in the Lower Mainland. I got to say it, man. Shout out to Tap House. Shout out to all these places, man, Tap and Barrel. Shout out to Boston Pizza in Guilford. Again, I might get in trouble for this, but I just got to give my people, Boston Pizza in Guilford. I went there over the weekend. I got to give the city of Surrey it's a claim, because too many people talk down on Surrey, and I ain't with that.
Yeah, I'll give a shout out to Crescent Beach. That's more in my neck of the woods in Surrey.
Man.
I'm also going to give a quick shout out to Brian Burke. Did he make this trade?
Oh, yeah.
I'm going
Let's
crazy.
talk about it.
Actually, I'm you can tell me in the comments if I'm stupid, but I'm not sure if Brian Burke made this trade. But 27 years ago today was the Marcus Naslund for Alex Stoyanov trade. Pretty much the best trade in Canucks history, if not one of the best trades in NHL history, trading a fourth line grinder for the future captain of the Vancouver Canucks. Yeah, that was 27 years ago today. So shout out to maybe Brian Burke. I think it was Brian Burke, and definitely should give a shout out to Marcus Naslund.
I thought you were going to say shout out to Brian Burke for him standing up to the for the LGBTQ.
He deserves a shout out for
community.
that too.
100%. He's
for that. And
openly disappointed in how the NHL and some of its players are just not in line, or not participating, or / not showing not their alliance, but showing their support for that community. And obviously Brian Burke has a close connection to the people in that community because of family. And yeah, just a dark time in hockey again over the weekend.
Yeah.
And I know you and I will have another show to talk about that stuff. We'll save it for another day. One love to the LGBTQ plus community in hockey, and y'all are welcome, man. For real, if I played in the NHL, bro, I'd be rocking that jersey. Why? Because it's not like it's. You know what I'm saying, bro? It's not about. We're on this earth, bro. We're not that important, For real. You gotta look out for other people, 100%. You gotta look out for other nice people. You know what I'm saying? It's just the truth. If nice people need something and they need a little bit of help, / they need support, give it to them. Why? Because, again, you're not that important.
Yeah, 100%. And if, you want to hear us talk more about this, we did touch on it about a week ago. It was the episode about Tom Cicito picking a senseless fight with the LGBTQ community. So we gave more thoughts on it there, and we will get more thoughts on it in the future because it's an important topic to talk about. But for now, we want to thank you for making Locked On Canucks your first listen today. Now make your second listen game to game Locked On NHL. Every moment, every performance, every result. Locked On Game to Game covers every game from across Locked On NHL with local analysis that only Locked On can deliver. Follow Game to Game on Locked On NHL. Available on the Odyssey app, YouTube, and wherever you get podcasts. I'm Trevor Beggs. He's Kyle Bhawan, and we thank you for listening to Locked On Canucks.
Shout out Surrey. Shout out 120th. Peace.
Your Locked On Canucks, your daily podcast on the Vancouver Canucks. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.